into this one right here. LeBron James, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. Everybody's sick of you. Everybody. We don't care. Retire. It did not happen for you, son. It didn't work. It didn't work out. You didn't achieve the greatness. It's over. It's over. So LeBron James is back on the Mind the Money podcast, right? Mind the Money. Money on the mind. Mind on the Money podcast, which clearly anybody with any kind of common sense by now knows it's a deep fake podcast. And I know they don't heard me say it. That's why on this podcast, they try to act like it's not a fake podcast. They're doing all kind of stuff. You know, the so-called producers and the editors and the cameraman, they're all moving around on that first episode. Look, it's not a fake podcast. It's not a deep fake AI. Look, we're doing all this. Look. we know it's a deep fake podcast. Who the hell with money like that wouldn't deep fake the podcast? It's stupid. And plus, LeBron James isn't intelligent. It will be a whole bunch of cut, edit, right? To show how retarded this dude really is. So of course they have to deep fake the podcast. That way they don't have to cut, edit. So before we get into this, you know, this guy talks about him trusting the process and always going through the process of, you know, him doing it right. And let me say this first. Steve Nash, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're up there looking worse than damn JJ Redneck, JJ Racist. You're basically up there licking this dude's butt crack. Not Steve Nash, man. Why? Steve Nash, one of the all-time great passers, one of the great all-time facilitators, leaders. You know, we can even say at times shooters, right? Because he could bomb from three. He was a great free throw shooter. I mean, everything great about Steve Nash. Why are we doing this, folks? Why are they doing this? Oh my God. Why, Steve? You were supposed to make all this money, I don't know how much he made, but I'm guessing Steve Nash had at least two $100 million contracts. Easily. Steve Nash, two-time MVP that earned his MVPs. I mean, some people say he robbed Kobe, but you can't say he didn't earn them though, right? Well, not rob Kobe. Kobe should have got him, but you can't say, you know, look at his game and say he didn't deserve them. Or he didn't earn them. We can't say that. But yeah, Steve Nash, man, one of the top, I don't know where we want to put him. Maybe top 6 point guards of all time, man. That's Steve Nash, man. Why did you do this? Why are you doing this, man? And this goes back to my other point that these guys don't have any money like that, folks. They don't have money like that. They just don't. They didn't make that money. We were told they didn't. And now, you know, they're out there selling their soul, selling their integrity. Oh, why Steve Nash? And to me, if Steve Nash wanted to jump up on here and ice grill LeBron James and be a real analyst, maybe by all means, right? But I still don't want Steve Nash or any of the all-time greats associated with this loser. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But like I said, it would be different if Steve Nash went up there and said, these are my questions I'm going to ask. I'm going to be this journalist. I'm going to, you know, let my nuts hang. I'm not going to get bent over before every show. You know, this guy is coming off worse than JJ Redick. Okay, some dudes just be out there selling they soul, right? When I saw Scap Attack, he was begging. I'm talking about this guy was begging Gilbert Arenas. That's why he was kissing his butt on that show one day. Michael Jordan fans are the best. And this guy was pretty much on his knees. Oh, we just thank you for being on here, Gilbert. We just thank you for being on here, Gilbert. We just thank you for being on here, Gilbert. Why? He's a liar. He's a liar. I thought, Scap, you like guys who tell the truth. Why are you on your knees for him and then got on your knees to beg to battle with a guy that straight locked to your face all through the debate? What? And then you got up on that show. What was the last debate show he was on? God, I forget what these guys are called. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comment. But, Scap got on that show looking like damn Gilbert Arenas. I'm not trying to say he was, to that extreme, but the kind of tactics he was trying to pull in that Joker debate over SGA, he was trying to talk around a whole bunch of stuff after he got stuck like that. But at any rate, I just don't understand this. Why, Steve Nash? You're from the old school, man. You did everything right. You did everything right. Why are you trying to do this wrong, man, just for some money? God, man, that's why I said it sucks that these guys really didn't get paid this amount of money, bro. Because let me see real quick. I'm not lying, bro. Let me look this up right. Steve Nash. Let me see. Steve, what we say? When did Steve Nash play? I forget, but he started in the 90s. Steve Nash. Steve Nash. Come on, guys. Earnings. Steve Nash earnings. I always go to this website. What is it? Hoops Hype? Okay, Steve Nash. Well, he made $146 million in his career, right? And we gotta remember, they wasn't really, doing like real big contracts in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Dudes was making, 10, 9. I mean, I ain't gonna say it ain't big I'm just saying compared to now. So Steve Nash, I want to say, okay, Steve Nash at his apex made, I think, 13 million. What was it, 2009, 2010, right? Made 10 million. And like I said, he made 143 million. Guys, and some guys will be like, money is money, man. Hey, what, you gonna turn down money? No, it ain't about turning down money, man. It's about selling your damn soul. And that's what these guys do. They're out there selling. I bet y'all can punch up JJ Redick made more than Steve Nash. That's what's so crazy about it. I'm gonna look it up in a minute. But these guys are out here selling their soul, and they're lying about what's going on. Look, man. A lot of guys will never understand what I'm talking about. How much money is he really going to give Steve Nash if Steve Nash made 146, did I say, in his career? How much more money can he give Steve Nash to sell his integrity, to sell his soul, to sell, being an all-time great, just to lie for this guy? I mean, this is crazy, folks. Anyways, we can talk about that again in a minute, but I couldn't even watch the whole thing, okay? And I guess it came out earlier today. I couldn't even watch this whole thing. And we got to understand, before we get into this again, why is LeBron James doing this? This guy is supposed to be worth $1 billion with the B, you guys. $1 billion. We talk about all the time. Why is this guy even still playing? When did he reach $1 billion? Wasn't that like in the early 2000s or something like that? $1 billion? Why is he still playing? It makes no sense. Listen, if they got him number 1 or number 2, like they all do in this era, 1 or 2, whatever, why is he scared to retire? Because we all know if he's 1 or 2, and all the guys that put him 1 and 2, they really can't say nothing later on, unless, some steroid thing came up, maybe something like that. Other than that, Stephen A. Smith can't walk it down later on. What would justify that? I mean, he's fighting with him now, calling him all kind of names, but he still says he's got him number 2. Shannon Sharp ain't gonna walk him down. Nick Wright ain't gonna walk him down. Chris Broussard ain't gonna walk him down. No, and these guys are gonna be in the media for a long time to come, folks. Okay, they don't have nobody. They don't have nobody good unless they just shut down the whole media when LeBron retires, and that's likely, folks. That might be likely that they shut the sports media down and basketball just continues to fall off the map like it has, right? They might go ahead and shut this thing down because, folks, they don't have no future face of the league. When Durant's gone, Curry's gone, LeBron's gone, who else? The usual suspects, Harden, Kawhi, all these guys, when they're gone, it's over. Nobody's interested in these international players, folks. Nobody. Yes, enough people to where to go see it in the arena, yes. Because people go see the circus when it's in town. But they're not going to have enough viewership to really keep pushing that thing on TV like that. They're just not, folks. They ain't gonna have enough viewership. They already know this. They ain't dumb. So, like I said, they might have to shut this thing down in the future as far as any good talent on TV. Nick Rome might be gone. Chris Broussard, the ESPN might look like ESPN News. It won't be no debate shows. Maybe Fox Sports. It won't be no debate shows. It'll just be like news, like CNN or something like that, like CNN headline news. I don't even know if they still got that work, where it's just all news, but they don't really go back and forth and stuff like that. I don't know, but that's how it might be in the future. So why is LeBron James doing this, folks? If he's number 2 now, we already know if he's number 2 right now, the guys in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s can't pass him, right? If he retired today, what guy would you warrant passing LeBron James in the 20s? Not me. You already know this guy ain't even in my top 15. But I'm just saying, the status quo right now for the media. What guy, if LeBron James retired this year and he's number 1 or number 2, who the hell could pass him? Because like I said, the guys in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 210s, I mean, some, let's just say up to 2000s, these guys aren't really playing no more or ain't playing no more. So why wouldn't he retire? It doesn't make any sense at all. Why wouldn't he retire? And we already know, why would they put anybody in front of LeBron James from the 2000s? Who would that be? Joker would have to win more titles, right? According to this media right here. Even though I put Joker over LeBron James. Joker won his titles right, won his MVPs right, did everything right. He ain't caused no controversies, ain't built no super teams, nothing. He won that one championship. I'm not lying. I'm not, and I'm starting to almost put Greek Freak in front of him. The only reason why I ain't putting Greek Freak pissed me off last year when he pulled that, being hurt nonsense. I don't care if you're hurt, but you got to drag dudes in the past. You had to drag them off the floor. You had to drag them off the floor. You had to drag Magic, Wilt, Kareem, Michael, Bird, all these guys off the court. You had to drag them off the court. So I want to see the Greek, when he get hurt, drag him off the court. I want to see them. I want to see that. So LeBron James is basically saying he trusted the process and he went through the process in his career. And early on, when he failed, it was because he's trying to make up an excuse. No longer, he ain't making up the excuse that he was young. Well, he did at a certain point, but he tried to compare it to Kobe. That not being the real Kobe, even though they won 3 championships, that not being real Kobe, he was young, and we didn't get to see the real Kobe until Shaq left. But he didn't make the excuse of being young, even though he was really doing it. He's using this word process. He hadn't been through the process yet of different things as a player, right? And then he started making the excuse of 2007. He hadn't been through the process yet. Okay, he's really saying he was too young. That's his excuse. And then he's trying to say why he lost in 2011 because he was still going through the process. So, but he still feels that he did everything right because he went through the process. It was what he said. He never cheated the process, right? He said he never cheated the process. And while he was losing, because he was still going through it when he was losing in Cleveland, he was still going through the process. You have to go through a process first. What? Are you talking about what Michael Jordan did? You talking about when Michael Jordan stood in there and got whooped all these years with no All-Star teammates, with no Hall of Fame teammate? This the dude that went through the grind? You talking about Michael Jordan? When he had to draft an undernourished, snotty-nosed Scottie Pippen? This guy? While you were getting every trade there was from the second you stepped in Cleveland? That's what he makes it look like. He went through the grind, folks. He was getting other teams' number 1 players or number 2 players since he stepped foot in Cleveland all the way until now. And it's funny that we're talking about the same damn thing that he talked about with JJ Redick. But now he's using other words, the process. And he went on to, I had to cut this off, man. It was, listen, why you can't listen to a whole show? Because this guy is an idiot. He's not a good liar. He's a bad liar. There's been through the years, throughout life, throughout, history, great liars. Every president is basically a great liar, right? Your politicians are great liars. They can get up there and, they can say all these big words and talk all elegant, all proper. They don't fumble and bumble. And they can lie right to your face about what they represent, who they are, what they want done, what history is. These are professional liars, politicians. And I'm not trying to say LeBron has to be one of those. But you're not even politicking, bro. You're not even, it's so easy to lie these days. Everybody on social media is playing a character. And most of these people are lying to make money. This is how I live. This is what I do. This is how I feel. We don't know this. So as you cut off the damn camera, you could be eating McDonald's, but you say you're a damn vegan. You could be eating cheeseburgers when you cut off that camera. You could be at a damn buffet eating fried chicken. Dude could say he's a carnivore and eating all kind of fruit when the camera cut off. This is the world we live in, folks. People just want to be entertained. And people, they love characters. This is why we are in the world. This is why we are where we are today. Because people love characters and want to be entertained. They don't want the truth. They want characters to tell them lies. Because a lie makes you feel good. It feels good. Give me some more of it. The truth, remember, it's ugly. It don't feel good. Get it away from me. Yep. Yep. So people go about their lives, live in their lives so they can feel good, because they don't want to hear the truth that'll make them feel bad. Truth is ugly. If the world was living in truth, a quarter of these problems won't be going on. A quarter of them won't be going on, folks. A quarter of them. If history was what they teach in school, a quarter of the problems in this world won't be going on. But because it's a lie, all the problems continue. And then the dummies the overseers every 4 years, what happens? They know you're going to beg for change. We need help, man. We need somebody to change this, man. These are kids, man. These are kids, because guess what? Your parents went through it. Your grandparents went through it. Your great-grandparents went through it. Your great-great-great-parents went through it. Your great-great-great-great-great-great-great. And everybody's still acting like little kids because they don't want the truth. They want to lie, and they want people being characters that tell them lies, that will rescue them. But LeBron James, not a good liar. Somebody, he just don't have any acting skills, folks. That's what I'm saying. At least if this guy was a good liar, and he had good acting skills, and he could also make you laugh. This guy, what? This guy ain't even funny. How does anybody hang around him? He's not even funny. He's not even hilarious funny. He's not dumb funny. Look at one of his friends, Perk. This dude is a fake Charles Barkley, right? Charles Barkley is dumb funny. I don't think he is as much as he used to be. Definitely when he was younger. But Charles Barkley is dumb funny, right? Perk is just dumb. He's a fake Charles Barkley. He's just dumb. He ain't funny. So LeBron James goes on to say all these dumb things and doesn't realize his career is over, folks. It's over. It didn't happen. You failed. You came out 4-6. They gave this retarded dude all these super teams, all these advantages, all these great players. But the number one problem was, during that super team era, where they gave him all these great players, is they put him the face of the super team, the face of those teams, the face of being clutch most of the times. Right? And he couldn't come through. Even with his super teams, how many clutch shots did he miss? The Ray Allen shot was his shot that he bricked. Before Kyrie hit that shot, he was missing shots. We remember when he was with Cleveland, he was missing clutch shots in the fourth quarters. We ain't gonna say it was like that, with 5 seconds to go, but he was missing clutch shots in the fourth quarters in playoff games. So, he goes on to, just talk about this whole process thing. And they keep talking about his body. And Steve Nash keeps talking about his body and how he keeps his body up, how he keeps his body in shape, and body that. That's a given in sports, folks. But this has nothing to do with your body that you're still playing. The reason why you're still playing as far as your body is because you was already a big dude a long time ago. So the league, we all know, has gotten smaller. And in fact, if we just take the LeBron James in the 210s, that size LeBron James, and all he had to do was eat right, he would never have to lift a weight again coming into the 2020s and still be bigger than everybody. There's no power guys in this NBA. Who's the power guys? And who's the power guys that's good? Who's the good centers? Who's great centers? Who's the big power forwards? What are we talking about? His body? And then he goes on to mention that because of the process, that he believes in the process and he did everything right, that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he won a championship. It don't matter. Because he did everything right to win a championship. So basically what this guy is doing, and he's saying this for the future, it don't matter if he don't win a championship with Luka. And it didn't matter how many years went by, he didn't win a championship. If he failed in the championship game, he didn't get to the finals, he did everything right through the process. That's what he's trying to say. Wow. This guy's just rewriting history, folks. And as he's saying these things, Steve Nash is just licking his mouth. This is it's slavery in reverse, right? I hate to say that. I'm just saying, man, you just don't see no white boys doing this stuff like that. This is like slavery in reverse. I don't know. These guys need a paycheck that bad that you would lick LeBron James in the mouth. What I say, 146 million, folks? What happened to all that money? See, the dummies, they'll say, oh, man, they blow all that money. They spend all that money. Man, if I had $10 million, you know what 10 million is right now? I'm not ruining my integrity. No, I wouldn't even do it for no money. These guys are supposed to be all-time greats of the game, folks. But to me, it's apparent they need money. Why? Not because they spent all the money, it's because they never made the money we were told, folks. Just like LeBron James, still running the court, never made the money we were told. Never. Now, again, when I say these things, I'm not trying to say they never made millions or they don't make millions now. I'm not trying to say that. But by their actions, again, I've been saying this for over a year. By their actions, right, it leads me to believe that they never made the money we were told. So say if a guy, again, suppose he made $200 million on a contract or $100 million in his career. This guy made whatever. 164, he made $200 million in his career, $300 million. I don't believe that. They have to go get jobs like me and you folks when they retire, making those hundreds of millions. Not just this guy. I mean, you can go down the line. They got to go work like me and you. So I'm not trying to say they didn't. I don't know where to cut it. Say if I say, okay, a guy made $200 million. I'm not going to put a number on it and say, oh, I don't believe he made $200 million. He made maybe $30 million in his career. And the rest of it was just entertainment value, right? That they do in this league, something like that. I guess I could say that, but I'm not trying to put an exact number on it. Let's just say that, right? And I know they take out taxes. I know they got to pay a manager, a lawyer, talent agent, all these people. But still, folks, no way. No way. I think these contracts are just, for entertainment purposes. I really do. Something else is going on because these guys, when they retire, guy after guy, has to go get a job like me and you folks. They got to go get a job like me and you. But We can do a whole video on that, and it's really not even worth it. Their actions show you. I know it hurts. I know these are the our heroes, and what I'm saying, we just can't believe nothing would ever happen like that. The world is bad, folks. The world is deceiving. The world is deceitful. It's rotten. It's cruel. It's ugly. It's a lie. But LeBron James is apparently, trying to rewrite history, and he keeps playing because he needs money, folks. The $1 billion, I don't believe it. That's a value they done put on him. He ain't got no bill. Just check this out. This guy made $1 billion off of losing. He made $1 billion off of losing, quitting, choking, melting down, building stupid teams, doing it the wrong way. This guy made $1 billion off of that. Wow. We're doing it wrong, folks. We're doing life all wrong. Wow. I guess that they do say the rich get richer and the poor get dumber. Or that's what I say. Yeah, this guy made $1 billion. Nobody buys his clothes. Nobody buys his shoes. Nobody buys his jersey. Most people outside of his fans don't like him. And who are his fans, folks? Who the hell are his fans? Most of his fans that were his fans in the 2000s, the 2010s, they done switched out on this dude. So yeah, he needs money because apparently he never made the money we were told. So that's why he's sitting up there getting $50 million a year, getting 50, because he knows I'm the entertainment of the NBA. That's why he's getting that money, folks. He's the entertainment of the NBA. That's it, folks. That's why they're paying him that money. He's the entertainment through the face of the league, through all these years, through thick and thin. He's been an entertainment through thick and thin. And it's been some damn thick and thin throughout his career, and for better or worse. And it's been basically all worse, right? But the NBA has been married to him and has given him all this money for being a damn soap opera. Not a winner, not a clutch performer, not a leader, not a offensive skill player, not a defensive skill player, for being a damn clown in the entertainment of the league. Because that's all they got. That's all they got while they bring in all these international players, while nobody's been interested. If anybody was interested in this era, this style of play, guess what? They were told this. The entertainment of the I can't even say it. The entertainment of the league, they would have told him to retire a long time ago. We don't need your services. You're a loser. When has a loser been the face of the league? Tell me that, folks. I just don't know. When has a loser been the face of the league? When has a guy who basically has no offensive, defensive skill set been the face of the league? When? I don't understand it. When is a guy who's not a born leader and not the real leader of his team, it needs all this help for people to lead him, the media, other number one franchise players from other teams to lead him? When has those type of guys been the face of the NBA? I'm just confused, folks. I'm confused. Or is it that they really had no choice? They really have nobody else. But what I'm trying to say is, it's always been those type of guys. Winners, leaders, guys that had great skill sets. But they don't have nobody else, folks, because they know once this dude leaves, it's over. That's the only thing. This dude saying stupid stuff is the only thing that's going to keep me watching this NBA. I'll put money on it. When this guy retires, the NBA, the only reason why he ain't retired, because the NBA don't want him to. If the NBA has something else, they would have told this dude to bug off a long time ago. Get out of here. They don't. All they have is a whole bunch of international players. We just ain't talking about white players. We're talking about black players from the Caribbean, from the West Indies, from Central America, South America, Africa. I mean, we have more international black players in the league today than international white players. And nobody's interested. As far as viewership, yes, they'll get their core fans or something. Hockey's got their core fans. Hockey sells out every damn game. But as far as ratings on TV, nope. A lot of baseball teams had their core fans, even though that's starting to fade away. But as far as ratings, nope. Their ratings have been better than years past, but folks, nobody's interested in these international players. It don't matter what sport it is. And they was going back and forth about it. And let's just say this: it could be interesting if they keep the format of the game with the international players. That's what I don't get. So what is the big deal that these international players can't play the format of the old game? What is it? What is it that they're so soft? Not just the Europeans. We're talking about the black players that's international too. How come they can't play the old format of the game and be men? These guys are out here looking like damn sticks. This ain't how our NBA players look, not even in the 2000s. You dudes got all this money and they can't even get a damn plate of food? What's going on? How could you walk around looking like a damn bag of bones? These NBA players today look like our high school players back in the 90s that was still developing. Basically, the LeBron James that came out of high school is as big as these guys today in the 2020s or bigger. When you used to go see players in the past, NBA, these were grown men back in the day. They weren't just tall, they were big. Even if they were skinny, most of them was cut up. You know, and by the time, you know, you got maybe in your third, fourth year, you start putting on meat. Not these dudes. What do these dudes eat? I don't understand it. You got WNBA players that's bigger than these guys. I don't get it. But yeah, LeBron James is just mocking people. He didn't go through no process. He didn't trust no process. Nothing. He's going on here. He's lying so people will make videos so his podcast can get more views. This is crazy, folks. I'm trying to tell you, this is the world we live in. This guy is reliving everything and rewinding everything that him and JJ Redick talked about. This is how boring this guy is. But even if he lies, how come he's not a good liar, an exciting liar, a funny liar? Nothing he does. He's not good at lying. He's not exciting to talk to. He's not funny. Nothing. This is all the NBA has? This is crazy. Whoever thought the NBA would be this way? He can't even kick no knowledge to you on these shows. Nothing interesting about this guy. And basically his entire career. As far as when we talk about a basketball player at the highest level, when we talk about skill set, we talk about an offensive skill set. He's not an elite passer. He's not an elite mid-range shooter. Well, let's just say good. We talked about this the other day. Elite, good to elite. He's not good to me or elite in passing, free throws, mid-range, three-point shooting. I won't even give him driving to the bucket because he's doing it wrong. Stiff arms and elbows. I could give it to him in the 2000s. Yeah. But why would he need to do that in this era? It doesn't make any sense on skinny three-point shooters. Defensively, nope. Weak side help and, you know, something like that. But on-ball defender, nope. Not good or elite. Sorry. Handles, nope. Not good or elite. Rebounder, nope. Not good or elite. I'm sorry. He might have been good in Cleveland in the 2000s. He ruined that when he went to Miami. So, and you know, the rest of his career. So rebounded, nope. What we got left? So basically nothing. To me, he for a career, he hasn't been good to elite. To me, even if you say, oh, what about his assists? Nope. To me, somebody that's good, a good passer, nope, about 9 assists. Elite is 10 plus, folks. 10 plus. If he could average 9 for his whole career, to me, that's good. Elite, 10 plus, easily. A leader? No, folks. This is why he's not a leader, because the things I just talked about, the good to elite category, he don't possess those things. So he can't teach the rest of his team any of that stuff if he's not good to elite. No. Like I said, when he was in Cleveland the first time, if he stayed in there, he had a chance to be elite on some of those things, or good to elite. I haven't seen it since he left Cleveland. Some of those things. I ain't gonna say he was all of those things. I think he was a good rebounder. I think he was a good facilitator, a good driver, good at weak side defense, some like those things, right? I would say a leader or nothing else. He wasn't good to great at mid-range, free throws, threes, none of that. I'm sorry, folks. The NBA is bringing you something awful right here. At least if we was listening to somebody that had some damn sense, could make us laugh, could just lie, and it'd be like the lie be like credible. But it's not even good lying at this point. And to me, it's never been good lying at all to me. It's boring listening to him. It's boring. It's boring. And it's like listening to somebody who is putting on a facade. So he's boring us so much. He's putting on an image and a facade so much that it's boring the hell out of you to listen to this guy lie. And he's not even a good liar. So I think if he would come out and be himself, the lie would be more credible. That's what would happen. The lie would be more credible. But to me, I don't think he could be himself, because I think the dude is a Fruit Loop. I think he's really zesty. If he really came out and talked and act like he really acts, because you can see it's undercover. He would have to, of course he would be zesty. So you guys tell me what you think, man. It's going to get bad. This is, if he put as much into his game as these podcasts, which he don't even put too much into them because they're boring. But I'm just saying the energy of lying, the energy. These podcasts are pretty much like a I'm rewriting history. Now you guys got to talk about me being a liar, and I'm going to make more money off my views. That's all it's about, folks. Money. That's all this guy cares. And he talks about money in a podcast, about being a businessman. And what are you a businessman for, though? But you was never a winner, though. You was, like I said, you were never great to elite at anything in your craft. I mean, like, where's the NBA going to go after this? Is it going to go to a better place? I mean, because this has been a clown show of 22 years. And we were used to the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. The guys that were talked about was great. It was of greatness. The soap opera was the on-court greatness.